What's going on, everybody? It is the weekly SMX Book Club. I am Coach Jeff Demers. She is Ms. Marnie Tisdale. We're also known as JD and Lady M. We've got sports podcasts that we do. We've got the book club that we do. We've got the companies that we run. We changed up our background. I don't know if you noticed. We got our background. So
Yeah, I
stuff
like
up
it.
here and stuff over there. Like up
All our
there,
stuff's up there.
here. All right. So if you're watching, as always, if you're watching live, put hashtag live. If you are watching the replay, put hashtag replay, just so we can get an idea of when people are jumping on. If you have any questions at all during the book club or even after the book club, make sure that you go ahead and put those in the comments so that we can address those moving forward. So we are continuing our path. We are almost done with we'll be done here within a couple weeks of Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets. Now, the way my mind's working is like I'm ready to jump into like expert secrets and stuff too, but we already agreed that we're gonna go
Think and Grow
for
Rich.
Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite books. I've read it a few times, but I've never actually gone through and broken it down with somebody, especially somebody as intelligent as you. So it's going to be interesting, not only to go through it with different people, but to get your perspective on it, and and you'll actually be able to see and help guide me as we guide each other down this new path that we ventured on for 2024. So
I have read a lot of the book, but I hadn't finished it. So
yeah,
it'll be
it's
taking me back through.
even once you finish it,
Yeah.
like I said, I've read it 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm always going back looking for advice and knowledge and wisdom because there's so much in that book. Um, in the industry and amongst entrepreneurs, we like to say it's got a lot of golden nuggets.
Yeah.
It just drops nugget after nugget after nugget. So we can't wait to get to that, but we do still have, I think we've got like 3 or 4 more chapters left.
If you can
I
see the
see
bookmark, but it's like
Secret 19 is the last one. So we still have 5 book clubs remaining in this. So we will start Think and Grow Rich sometime in March.
there you go.
Probably right around the same week as NASCAR when that comes to town.
Mm.
All right, so let's jump into it. I just wasted 3 minutes of everybody's time talking about that. But yeah, Think and Grow Rich is coming up. Secret number 14 in Traffic Secrets is called After the Slaps and the Snaps, which for some reason made me think of the movie Spaceballs. Um, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you remember the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I've seen
but
it
when he's
like
sitting
half
at the
dozen times.
radar, when we first meet like Lord Helmet and the dude's
Yeah.
sitting at the radar and he goes like, "But the bleeps and the creeps and the like all that stuff." So yeah, so slaps and the snaps. That's what we're talking about. So basically, he's talking about podcasting in this one. Uh, he's talking about what would happen if the big man in charge actually shuts down Facebook,
Yeah.
or shuts down like your main thing. Like, what are you going to do, or what can you do instead of people reading your content? Maybe they can listen to your content instead. He said that he definitely wanted to make sure that podcasting was in this because he could have went into like at the time he wrote this, like TikTok was just starting up, and
Right.
he said he could have probably dove into each one of those, but he didn't. He basically stuck with Facebook, Instagram. He didn't do Twitter,
Right. No.
Google, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, and podcasting. One of the things that I love about podcasting, and we've got a few podcasts. For those of you that are watching, you'll see some of the banners on the screen for the Motivated Mindset and the S3, those are our podcasts that we do.
Yeah.
One for business, one for sports. So podcasting has played a really big role in our life. And it makes it easier for me to be able to jump on a mic than it is to actually go speak on a stage.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier because, like, when I'm talking on a podcast, I'm basically just talking to like one person, even if there's thousands or even millions of people listening, which would be really cool. I only have to think about just having a conversation with one person, and
Yeah.
most of the
Yeah.
time that's with you. And
Yeah.
we talk to each other all the time. I mean,
Mm.
we're best friends.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of people, they get really nervous. They want to get their message out there. They don't know how. Podcasting allows them to just be able to sit down and convey their message and their thoughts, via audio, and then people can listen to that during their free time, when they go to the gym, when they're driving to work, when they're
Yeah.
bored on a Friday night and they want to see who we picked for the big game coming up, you know?
Yeah.
So, but he did mention that on average, one person will usually listen to about 6 podcasts. I think
Yeah.
he said, was that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's what he said.
Okay.
Tops
Um,
out at 6.
so you still have to have really good content. You still need to be able to stand out amongst like all the other podcasts that are out there. And the best way to do it is through consistency with your message and with your postings. Like
Yes.
us, we want to make sure that, I mean, our book club was at 3. We did move it to 4 to try and help people, because we understand, like, right now, a lot of our people are still at work. You
Hmm.
know, they're still at work out here in Arizona. They don't get home for a little while.
Yeah.
But because of our schedule for later on in the day, we got SMX Hacker Nation training in an hour as well. You got to fit it in when you can, but we will be consistent. So our podcasts, for like our sports podcast, Wednesdays and Fridays, 4 o'clock, like on the dot. Our motivated mindset is going to be 4 o'clock on the dot. Um, so that 4 o'clock, like every day, pretty much with the exception of Thursdays now, Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
um, you can expect to hear from us at 4 o'clock in one way or another, be it sports or business or
Yep.
coaching,
Yep.
right? And you can like, if you listen to sports and you love listening to somebody rant, I put down an epic rant on the last sports show you might want to
You
listen
did.
to. I'm just saying.
We even pulled it up and made my sister listen while she was visiting.
Yeah.
It's all
And
right.
she
She
agreed
agreed.
with most of it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good. So he goes through the same steps that he's gone through
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
every chapter. He starts out with the history and the goal of the topic, and then he moves on to finding your dream 100. So when
Yeah.
you are looking for individuals for your dream 100, you're looking for the top podcast out there of the people that are doing what you do. And honestly, it really doesn't matter if you're a business coach like me, if you're a driver, if you're an athlete, if you're a photographer, if you're a journalist. There are hundreds of podcasts out there for your topic, for your subject. All right. So to find a dream 100, it actually should be really simple, regardless, unless you're going into like a niche of, I teach people how to fly just using their arms. That is a very like specific niche, and there's probably not too many people doing that right
Right.
now.
Right.
But for the most part, it's out there. There are people that want that content. There are people that love listening to that content. And there are podcasters that have already built your following.
Right.
You just need to do the research. Like, they've already built your list for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the Dream 100, it's same thing as on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Google. Like,
Build your relationships. Yeah.
go find your Dream 100 on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean. I mean, they're everywhere. If you just want to do one, more than likely, everybody is on Apple Podcasts. Everybody is on Apple Podcasts. That's where I would start. If you just want to start in one place and you want to search 19 different hosts, then yeah, go to Apple Podcasts. Our new shows are going to be on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
The S3 and the Motivated Mindset starting next week, which is cool. So then it goes over to Dream 100, and then it's all about understanding your publishing strategy. This is actually my favorite part of each chapter, because he literally breaks down exactly what you need to do in every chapter. He tells you your publishing plan that you should follow. So, for example, podcast publishing plan, 3 hours a week. A week. I wish I only spent 3 hours.
Yeah, he was suggesting 2 podcasts and he gave the time frame for an hour. So I'm thinking he's saying shoot for 30-minute podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, that made sense to me. Yeah, he said
Yeah.
30 minutes.
And
Well, this is
if
how he
you're
broke it
starting,
down.
that's a good place to start because you can probably ramble on about anything into your subject for 30
Oh,
minutes.
he absolutely could. He absolutely can. This is how he broke it down. Research is 30 minutes per week. He says, listen to the podcast of your Dream 100 to determine what style of podcast they're doing and how they're talking to your audience.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure how to relay, this is on page 257, by the way. Thank you. If you're not sure how to relay your message or how to actually do a podcast around your content, just model what your Dream 100 is already doing for a podcast. Makes it very simple to do. I do find it funny, though, that he says research 30 minutes. It takes me about 4 hours to put together a 1 hour sports show.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be Russell. Okay, Russell. 30 minutes. He could come up with an hour-long podcast in 3 minutes.
It is a bit different though, because you're needing to look up like the facts and the stats for the teams and rankings and all of that stuff. That's a lot different than just off the cuff talking about a subject.
I agree. Absolutely.
Thank you, Facebook user.
Yeah. Oh, if you're using Facebook, just so we can actually give you a shout out, because right now it just says Facebook user, we will show you. You got to go to facebook.com/StreamYard, or is it StreamYard.com/Facebook? It's in the
I don't
notes.
remember, but it's very easy to do.
It's in the notes of the post. I know that. It's at the bottom of every post. It tells you, so that way we can actually see who you are and make sure that we answer any questions or respond to you correctly. So he says research is only 30 minutes. Thanks, Russell.
Wait, look at the comment. The newest one is very accurate to what we were just saying.
In Russell World, things mostly stay the same with some tweaks. I know who this is.
But in your world, everything changes every day.
This is Angelica. She knows Russell very well by now. We're going through the OFA challenge together.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know the name. So, I'm going to get a Tumblr from her.
So, God, if I only spent 30 minutes a week putting together 3 shows, like seriously, they would be 4-minute shows.
Yeah.
This is what happened. These are the teams going to the game. Check in next week. That's it. That's all it would be. I wish I could only spend 30 minutes. But for the regular person just starting out, he's talking about going to find your Dream 100. Listen to their podcasts. Their podcasts are probably only 15 minutes or so on average. Right? Now, some go more in detail and things like that because they're doing interviews depending on the topic. But a lot of times, because these people really know what they're doing and what they're saying, especially in the coaching world, they won't do more than 30 minutes max because they usually charge after that for any more
Right.
information,
Right.
right? Then it says your podcast 2 episodes per week. So on the sports side, we're great. On the Motivated Mindset podcast, that means I need to add a show. So that means I'll be doing 4 podcasts.
You do have to keep it realistic to your life, though, because that's 4 shows a week is a bit much. On top of book club, on top of training.
It can be done. I freed up Thursdays.
We're wanting people to hear the part of this where it's realistic and attainable.
Wait. Are you saying, is that a challenge? Are you telling me I can't do it?
I know. The gauntlet is not on the floor. It is still in my hand. I promise.
She threw the gauntlet at me. What? Thank you, Angelica. Angelica agrees with me. I know she does. Like, we're creating stuff right now that a month ago probably wasn't even in our minds. So to say that, one more is going to be too much. See, I take that as a challenge. I actually do. I might, instead of having Thursdays off from podcasting, I might throw in another podcast. Thanks to Russell and your gauntlet that you didn't throw. All right. 10 minutes per week. So it says 1 hour per week for your 2 podcasts, 1 hour per week, publish 2 episodes each week at the exact same time every week. Now, to be fair, okay, the Motivated Mindset podcasts are 15 minutes long, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe. Okay, because I'm just there to teach a lesson. When Russell was doing his marketing in his car, which slowly came around to Marketing Secrets podcast, he was doing it every day because he had 10 minutes to drive to the office. So he was recording his podcast as he's driving to the office. So it was only 10 minutes and became one of the most popular podcasts on the planet. So he only did 10 minutes. So you don't need a lot of time to do a podcast.
Yeah. It's about the engagement. Engage with your people.
10 minutes per week. You want to email your list with the link to your podcast episode. This is more in the SMX Hacker Nation where we talk about different ways to do list building, but the key is in the list. Yeah. All right. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. Okay. That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
Can't argue. The key is in the list. 5 minutes per week. Make sure you post on Facebook and Instagram with a link to your podcast episode. Reply to comments. I am actually rebuilding what's called a link in bio. Angelica says, do it. She's going to get me in trouble. So I'm doing what's called a link in bio funnel where I can take everything that we do. So where I can take like No Boss, No Rush and the Hacker Nation, Sports Media X, and the S3 and the Motivated Mindset podcast, and I have it under one link. So instead of having to pitch in our Facebook bios or our Instagram bios or our X bios,
right?
One thing, hey, I'm a coach, or hey, I'm a media member, or hey, now it's just the link. They go to that, and then it says coaching, sports, podcasting, free this, free that, check this out. So it's one link, shows everything. Exactly. So I'm going to finalize that hopefully in the next 2 to 3 days. Exactly. Yeah. Russell does it. He used one of the best examples of a link in bio. I know we're going a little bit off topic here is The Rock. Like when you go to the Instagram for The Rock, did I show you his?
You pulled it up in an SMX Hacker Nation meeting.
I did. That's correct.
You did. So I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. And
he's got like 50 different things he's got going on, but in his Instagram bio, it just shows one link. It doesn't even say, this is what I got going on. Hey, support this charity. Hey, drink my tequila. Right. All that stuff. It's just one link and it's got everything for him. So I think that's one of the most ingenious sales funnels out there. It used to be called, or it's kind of still called, a hero funnel. But I guess Russell renamed it to a link in bio funnel. So So make sure that you post your link in bio funnel on Facebook and Instagram. And when your podcasts are up, all they got to do is just click on the button in your link in bio that says check out the latest podcast. Makes it pretty simple. All right. Other podcasts, 2 interviews per week. He says 1 hour per week. Get interviewed on 2 other podcasts each week. Be consistent. I'm going to start reaching out. Right. I'm going to start reaching out, especially
And
in the
you've been
sports
pulling
world.
in a lot of guests for yours.
We've had quite a few
That's
guests
good.
lately on our show, but I'm going to start reaching out and letting people know that I'm available for interviews as well.
I think that's a good idea. It's very, very good advertising.
Absolutely. 10 minutes per week. Email your list with the link to your podcast interview. Email your list. If you don't have a list or if you need help building a list, hit me up. All I've been doing is creating hooks lately. I got the Ultimate Podcasting Journal. What did I call it? Anyway, it's a whole ebook on how to build your podcast. I've got that. Workbook. Thank you.
Workbook.
That's why she's the smart one. Then 5 minutes per week, it says post on Facebook and Instagram with your link. And that link again would be your link in bio. Right? Tell people to click on the link in your bio. That's pretty much it. And then he goes into the same thing that he talks about in every other chapter, working your way in with content, buying your way in with ads, right? And then filling your funnel. He talks about filling your funnel with purchasing podcast ads and going the extra mile with the different things that you can do.
Yeah.
This was a very short chapter, which is why I'm actually very happy because I'm kind of hurting today.
Yeah.
Kind of hurting today. I've got a bad headache and I'm just pushing through it.
Yeah.
But very short chapter, but extremely valuable. Again, this is secret number 14. The bleeps and the creeps. Excuse me, after the slaps and the snaps.
Stuck on Spaceballs.
Pulling from Spaceballs. All right. I get the bleeps and the creeps.
Thank you, Angelica.
All right. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much. What the hell? All right. Okay. All right. I see. Women got.
I get some love too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's pretty much it. Next week, we are going over secret number 15, conversation domination. Again, we are starting Think and Grow Rich in March. Make sure you get your copy.
Plan to buy your book now.
Make sure you get your copy. Thank you, Angelica. I appreciate you for tuning in. Can't wait to see the tumblers that we got coming in. Our new water bottles. We have created a new partnership, which we will officially announce later on this week. With Angelica's company. And you'll be able to hear more about that on our website and our social media channels. Lady M, Ms. Marnie, is there anything that I forgot about this before we take a short break and then do the Hacker Nation VIP training?
The only thing that maybe we didn't mention that I remember sticking out to me in the chapter was he just talked about the biggest difference between a podcast and any of the social media is people aren't just going to randomly find you and listen. Chances are very slim. So you really, really, really need to be on top of your Dream 100 and get out there and be on other shows and have other people on your show to get those people listening. Because once you get them, then that's like a very, very solid base of your customers that you get to have.
Absolutely. Again, podcasting just makes it easier in a lot of different ways, especially if you're like me. Like I need to work on my public speaking because I can do podcasts all day, but when I'm in front of 5,000 people,
beast.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. So hopefully I will be on stage in Vegas in 2025 at FHL 10.
Yep.
So that's the goal.
That's the goal.
So, all right. Anything else?
Nope.
Angelica, thank you for not taking my side. I appreciate that.
That's what you get.
Women got to stick together, I guess. All right. All right, that's it. Let's take about a 30-minute break, and then we'll get on to SMX VIP SMX Hacker Nation VIP training. My head is killing me, so I'm trying to work through this. But make sure that you're in VIP training if you are a VIP member. If you are not and you want to get into SMX Hacker Nation, message me. I've got a brand new program coming out with all the bleeps and the creeps with it. So we got to watch Spaceballs again.
Yeah.
Gotta watch Spaceballs again.
All
right.
That one.
That's it. I'm rambling. This is what happens when I have a headache.
I know.
Kills me. All right. That's it for the show. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions at all, make sure you put them in the comments so we can address those a little bit later. Take care, everybody.